Okay, let me make a quick video here. And this is gonna be the fastest way out. No, not out of the car. Fastest way out of the neurofeedback induced inner clench. And that is for years and years and years and years I've been just struggling trying to figure out, what the way out is, and then like what's the fastest, most efficient way out and all that stuff. So that is just do the grounding thing. I'll tell you, just do the grounding thing. Like, especially the best works is like a hug or like a ground, like into the bed, and you go ground. And the reason why this works the best, okay, and so what I'm doing is trying to get like a gut feeling sensation on the exterior right in front of my face, like a Tai Chi strong kind of gut feeling sensation into the tree in this case, or you could go to the ground and do it. And when you do that, see, the problem is you got this inner clench going, this inner clench concentration in the head, and when you do that, you switch that concentration from here to onto the grounding sensation, right? And this works in multi-facets, because in the inner clench, yes, the biggest problem is that your concentration is on it. It's like it's on it because it doesn't know what other concentration it can go to other than that, right? In any case, it's always on it, and so you're taking your concentration from on this to on that, and you're adding, as much thoughts as you can into it as well, because now it's all about getting the inner clench tensiony thing transferred, that concentration, the inner clench concentration transferred off of the concentration transfers from the feeling of that to the feeling of that to this, right? And then you're good, you're golden, especially because this also, you can do it hard. You can go like, I'm gonna do it hard, you can do that hard, like a hard Tai Chi, like you're trying to get more emotion into it, you're trying to get more gut feeling into it. What you're trying to do is getting the concentration on this, but also the somatic feeling on this. And number one, it being disconnected from clench to here, the two feelings disconnected from here, because your body is, that's why like a hug of a female is the number one way to be able to immediately get out of it, because especially if they're good looking. I mean, I think they almost have to be good looking though. But in any case, but also you could just imagine, you could see a good looking girl and just imagine the physical hug of them. And that should be able to do it too. Just you see one and then you imagine it, and that, because what it does is you're imagining the exterior somatic sensation, and your thoughts are just automatic in being able to think deeper into that, because they're good looking, and you're like, and that's it, it's a little bit hard to explain, but the thing is, once that engages, then that's when the distraction technique is in play, because once that engages, it really is like you basically are out of it. You basically are all good, because now it's all about getting rid of the inner clench, okay? You get that with the concentration. That's why the fastest way is just go hard out here, and then you're good. And then you're good in that you can just say, okay, what's the to-do list? Okay, that's the past now. The inner clench was the past. Let's just move on to the future, okay? Because it's all about getting the thinking to just start happening where they will not be constantly intertwined into the inner clench. Once the thinking can just move on without being intertwined with the connection of the inner clench at the same time, then you're good. You're good. You just have to keep thinking, you know, and because you'll be thinking now in a way in which your thinking will now be in a way where, yes, there's no inner clench involved while you're thinking, but you'll just be like thinking and thinking, and you know, and the gut feelings, then the gut feelings will just more and more start to intertwine into all of your thinking, and then, you know, the more you just kind of keep moving on with everything, the more you'll be like, oh wow, I'm thinking of all the things there are to think about, whatever, and I don't have any inner clenching going on, and it's because, you know, like just through the thinking, everything will be through the thinking now, and through the thinking, you'll get even more and more back engaged in your innate way, you know, your innate way in which everyone else gets to be. All the animals and all the humans are born that way. It's just the innate way in which they are, and you get to be back to how you were innately too again, finally, before you did the stupid fucking neurofeedback that ruined your life. But we're gonna move on forward past that, because we can't turn back time to not do biofeedback. Instead, we have to just move on. So yeah. But yeah, so that's why. Okay, and so the reason why. So, you know, that hard, like, it doesn't have to be hard, but whatever. Hard into the sensations, that hard grounding into what's just right in front of you. Okay, the tree thing, you know? Or the tree thing, and then also do the tree thing. It doesn't have to be a tree. In fact, that's the first time I ever used a tree, just because I don't want to bend down and I don't want to lay down on my belly. But you know, lay down on your belly, get the grounding sensation of the exterior, while at the same time, you know, it's kind of like you're relaxed and hard with the grounding of the gut feeling exterior. Relaxed here, so it's a relaxed and hard, right? Hard in the emotions, relaxed in the body. And then once that happens, then it's all about, like, what would happen for me is, like, I'd be like, okay, I got it. I got the somatic feelings, gut feelings back onto the exterior a bit. So that's number one, most important part of the battle. And now, what the problem, what the issue was yes, now I want, because ultimately I want my thoughts in somatic, like emotional gut style feelings, totally reconnected, one within each other, you know, totally intertwined with each other, in which all my thoughts are changing all my feelings to whatever I'm thinking about, all that stuff. When I'm feeling the music, I'm feeling really the beats of the music, and it sounds much better that way. When I'm talking, I'm even, you know, just because I want to, I'll use a little, you know, it's just like you feel when you try to be funny, you're also acting funny because you're connected with your somatic feelings, and you're able to express your emotions. Ultimately, so that is my feelings are now connected to all my thinking now. It's not that I'm just saying some funny stuff. I'm also acting it too, like an actor or something. I'm acting funny too, which is most of the funny actually comes about through that. And there's also various degrees of, I can be a little bit stuck in it and a little bit out of it. But in any case, so the whole point is, what's the fastest way out? I ground with the motions into the exterior. And also, why does this happen? Because also those techniques are very valid, in which I'm the techniques of the idea of which I hop in. I need to get back into my body, because when you inner clench, even though it's inside of you, it's almost like your thoughts are more outside of you. It's like, because it's almost like inner clenching inside of you. Yes, it starts off that way, but because the tension hurts and everything, and like you don't even want to think, because you're taking your thoughts and directing them through into the tension too, and your somatic feelings that had the visual, just the feeling of everything on the exterior. Your gut feelings that connect to the thoughts, those all also went into the inner clench too. They all went into the tenuption. So, but in that way, your thoughts are also the very little thoughts that you have left that are all super connected into the inner clench. Those are real third persony. It really feels like you're not fully inside of your body at all, actually. But that one's like hard to kind of pinpoint as to how that is. But one thing's for sure is when I say, okay, now I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna like feel like I'm getting back into it's like you have to get back inside of your body in order to relax it. Meanwhile, and then the grounding of the exterior, so the get back into your body works in actually relaxing your body, and the ideas of trying to control it like you're gonna perform athletics, that part is the relaxing part, and that's the most important part. But that's the relaxed part, and then the hard part is the grounding of the further out exterior part. Okay? That's the hard part. I mean, not as in difficult. I mean, relaxed and hard. I'm relaxed, but my emotions need to be hard onto the exterior. And, it's all about releasing the clench. That's the relaxed. And then getting what is your somatic, your central nervous system, the somatic emotional feelings, all that stuff, were in the inner clench. So it's not just that I'm releasing that inner clench, but also those somatic feelings are supposed to be out onto the exterior, performing for your sense data. And so to get them, yes, I get it relaxed, but then I need to get it flowing to the exterior to perform with all the sense data. So yes, I'm getting inside of my body in order to relax everything and controlling it, but then I need to get it's almost like that's the, so I would say, like, so you get inside of your body, like you're an avatar, you get inside of your body and control it. So you take the controls of the, like you get inside of the car, and then you control it with the steering wheel, find out what all the buttons do and everything. And then the part where you're grounding to the exterior, where you're getting a feel on the exterior even though you're not touching it. That's the somatic feelings. That's that isometric inner tension that has been relaxed, but now it is flowing. But now that but now it's transferring from isometric inner tension into your somatic gut feelings, and it's transferring it by getting that sense, that sense of all the exterior, that, just like when I hugged this tree here, okay, that part, I'm getting the somatic sense of the exterior, where I'm getting a gut feeling, like emotional feeling of it, while this is being relaxed at the same time. That transfer. Now that transfer, once that transfer happens, you know it because you just have a feel of this, and you can obviously feel that this has been relaxed. This has been relaxed, and this has a little bit of a feel to it. And it only needs a little bit of a feel. You don't have to be the full, like, real strong feel, although obviously that helps. The more relaxed it is, and the more of emotional gut feeling this has, the better. But but that's, it doesn't have to be. The distraction technique is just, you don't need to do anything else at all, because the reason why it was so difficult for me after the years and just long time in which I conditioned myself to be stuck in this inner clenching hell, is because I always want to, because I'm like, okay, now, because the next part is, yes, just start thinking, and the thoughts will feel more exterior. In the inner clench, the thoughts do feel like they're stuck in here, but also like outside of you or whatever. It's like a fucking nightmare. And you don't even want to really even think about it. But yeah. So the thoughts will now be actually in the position of being more, they feel like they're coming from they got a gut feeling to them. And in that gut feeling, the thoughts are actually will be more like outside of yourself, but that's like not really important to even think about, because all the thoughts have to do is not be connected to an inner clench. You can't be doing inner clench into the thoughts, right? That's why it's the distraction method at that point. You understand? Because my thoughts just have to, by doing this, by doing the relaxation, strong sensation on the exterior, just right out into what I'm touching right in front of me. By doing that unlocks the tension enough and gets a feel on this instead. So that is the transfer of concentrations combined with the relaxation and hard to that. Relaxation here, hard to that. It's the separation of tension into everything, which is what I mind manipulated myself into, right? And so I need to cut that line. I need to cut that line where there's an inner clench into things. That's not how it doesn't work that way. That's not the innate way your body functions, right? So once that line is cut, it's all about me not trying to, because I'm trying to okay, now I want to get my thoughts going go big, because in that inner clench hell of the neurofeedback mind manipulation that I did, I was constantly trying to get my thoughts to have this, just doing this inner clenching into the thoughts. All right, that's why I say it's distraction method after that, because the thoughts are going to just automatically start flowing into your somatic feelings. The thoughts have no feelings to them at all. It's almost like this distraction technique, you could also call it a do nothing technique, Okay, you're good. You got your senses on the exterior with a little bit of a gut feeling or whatever, and the inner clench is, it's gone back into the somatic feel of the exterior. You're good. That's it. Now move on to your to-do list. Think of your to-do list. All right, so now that inner clenching thing is the past. Let's move on to the future. That's it. That's it. Because it's just whatever it takes to not try to, yes, because you're saying, but no, I need my thinking to be more vivid in the connection to my somatic gut feelings, though. I still don't feel totally all good. And yes, you do know that is what will happen more and more to get better and better. So yes, can I think about that? Maybe a little bit. Yeah, but it's like, okay, like I said, I did the fastest way in which, I don't have to think about jumping into my body and relaxing it and then trying to get a gut feeling sensation on the exterior, blah, blah, blah. If I just do the put my whole, body onto the bed or body onto the ground or body into the tree, or an actual hug with a girl, that would be the number one. Or and then not only that, but also just you see the cashier or something who's a cute female or something, and you just like kind of imagine hugging her or something. And any other guy too, because I was like a wrestler, imagine like wrestling them too, because it just, like, and while you do that, you know the particular way in which you do it, in which you're relaxed, and it's just more about you're concentrating on getting a feel of them first, and you can add some relaxation into yourself as you're getting the feel of them first. So that's what it's all about. That's what drops the tension, disconnects it, and pops into the somatic feelings with a kind of gut feeling of that exterior thing. And I'm just saying, if I just simply do say hug the pillow in that frame of mind, and then be like, okay, I got more of a concentrated feel on that exterior, just right out in front of me, like just hugging the pillow. And then this is why I'm saying fastest way out. You just do that, get that feel, and then say, okay, now that I got that feel, I'm good. Let's move on. And then you just try to move on with regular thoughts. It's really, that's what's fucking so bullshit, is like really the best and fastest method becomes like just the total conventional method for all these fucking people that, which is all of humanity, because they never did neurofeedback to do that mind manipulated inner clench. But it still ends up being like people, like I was just watching like this Will Ferrell, the Hawk or whatever, and like his son in the movie is like, he's like all mad, and his wife goes, come on, take a deep breath, take a couple deep breaths and just ground yourself. And it's like, that ends up being the method for me too. Even though what happened to me is so much more complicated in that way. And yes, it is more easy for just a conventional person who never got locked into the mind manipulation and got stuck in it. But let's take a couple deep breaths and do that grounding. If that grounding is in that particular way, ground your feet to the ground. Yes. And now, but the guy in the movie is like, oh, good, I'm all good, because his thoughts are still, like, he didn't ever try to interlock his thoughts into that tension hell. So his thoughts are still, like, free. And his thoughts are the ones that got him all, like, I am so full of anxiety. I need to take a deep breath and do some grounding. And then, oh, God, now I feel good. And then he gets to just keep moving on with his thoughts. Well, you can too. Because that grounding part is what disconnected the thoughts being intertwined into the tension. It did disconnect it. But the thing is, you gotta just keep thinking, but every time I think like, oh, I gotta try to start thinking, I have a compulsion in which I don't just keep the thoughts separated in a no feeling, at least not an inner clench feeling to those thoughts, right? You know what I mean? So it's just like now, but it's this, but I can do the same thing and I would be cured too, because that what he said, that take a deep breath and ground, that does also release the inner clench a bit, and it releases the deep breaths or whatever. The relaxation part is the relaxation method, and then the ground is that's the relax, and the grounding part is the sensation on the exterior, and from there, from that state of feeling, your thoughts are already ready to take a connection into this somatic gut feeling where they're both connected with each other. It's at the ready now. You just have to just kind of like not do anything. I mean, it's just the particular way in which you just, I would say, continue to think, because you were thinking in the inner clenching. It's just that it was so much more shallow and uncontrolled almost, that you feel like I now I can even finally start thinking. But that's not true. That's why it's a do nothing method, because you were already thinking. Yes, the thoughts were connected in the inner clench, but now it's a do nothing thing because you already were thinking. Okay? You already were thinking. It's just that you're not going to be thinking while trying to do inner clench at the same time. Okay? And to do that, you do nothing. You know? To do that, it just happens automatically. I mean, it's really about stopping the inner clench. And the way you stop the inner clench is by getting that somatic grounding sensation of the exterior. And then it's like, you're good. I'm good. Well, I mean, maybe a little bit keep the grounding of the exterior a little bit more going until it naturally just takes hold, because it will take hold as your thoughts are continuing to I mean, it takes hold when those thoughts, that gut feeling that you've tai chi'd onto the exterior, it will take hold in unison with all the thinking, and then you can just live life as normal then, as long as you just keep thinking, because it should automatically intertwine and stay there, like you stay in rolling with all of your emotional feelings. It all stays that way, it stays interconnected. And so basically now all you do is just think about anything and everything other than the somatic tension. And other than that particular feeling, because I know how to do it so well that I will do it real easily, kind of thing. You know what I mean. So, but the biggest stronghold in how it took so long is because I'm just constantly trying to start my thinking, but I'm just always like, the thinking has to have a feeling to it, subconsciously. Consciously, I've always known, obviously, the thoughts are not supposed to have any feeling. Like, the visuals themselves don't have any feeling, although there is a gut feeling that eventually that does, so your thoughts end up having feelings. That's the emotions that are connected to all of your thinking. But in a way it has no feeling, but but what I mean by that, it's not, I'm not doing inner clenched feelings into thought, you know. I mean, in that sense of compared to that, you know, how I'm doing this inner clench into the thoughts, you know, as in a sense, in that specific way, the thoughts have no feelings to them at all, even though they will have feelings connected to them. They will connect with that somatic gut feeling thing, and the thought images will be more like out here, and the gut feelings out here, even though, you know, combined, not only that, that will be kind of like where the emotional feelings are that are connected to the thoughts, right out here. But then at the same time, you have that somatic feel on all of the exterior going. It's like at the same time. So it's like this two-way concentration. And that's the innate way. Like I said, when I got stuck inside of it, it takes all that away, and then I'm like going to other people, wait a second, how do you not do this? Like, what are all the humans and all the animals doing to not do that? What are they doing instead? Because yes, you do have to transfer into what they are doing instead. You can't just be like, you know, just like how stopping it is like, okay, getting inside of my body, and then getting a somatic sense into the exterior, what I'm touching, and then keeping that somatic sense into what I'm even not touching too. So that somatic sense is staying. It's not going to switch. I'm not going to get that somatic sense and then be like, okay, I got it now, and then switch back into inner clenching. Okay, I'm going to get that somatic sense here, and it's going to stay out. It's going to stay out. It's going to move onto the everything else, and then all that somatic sensing just is all just stays. It all stays, but then the thoughts also attach into the gut feelings, in which you have the thought gut feeling connection, but at the same time there's the somatic feeling that is also staying within the whole exterior of everything. You understand? It's so, I mean, once it's there and it's all clicked in, and then you just go on, move on, and just think about stuff, and then, you know, and then also too, it's, I forgot about how important it is to get yourself ready in confidence and positive thinking. When I first got stuck into it, that was already ready to go with me being confident and stuff. But, you know, the last time around, this last year and a half or whatever, I also got stuck into the opposite of, I finally experienced other people's descriptions of getting stuck in depression and other people's experience of getting stuck in anxiety. And that shit is hell on earth as well. And so it was like I was stuck. I got stuck in the opposite of confidence, and like this hopelessness, just constant rumination of this, just of a hopelessness thoughts, or a constant rumination of just like feeling like I'm too old now. I don't think I can ever achieve what I wanted to. It's just like it's like stuck there and creating this horrible sad feeling. And then I was like almost like immediately transferred into the stuck in the inner tension feeling too, even though it started off as just like a regular depression. What do you call it? Severe depression. What do you call the depression that's really bad? Like the severe, I'm stuck in severe depression thing. So yeah, in the ways out of it, same type of way, getting yourself back into your body, into the first person, sensation. Getting that sensation on the exterior. Getting the motions back. And then also, yeah, okay, so I'm thinking, I don't know, now you're thinking I'm a well-controlled body, and funny thoughts will just start happening just based on, I mean, you can just, whatever kind of thinking or whatever kind of actions you want, it's all totally under your control as long as it's back in the innate functioning again. But yeah, so what I would say, the fastest way out of it, rather than going into the jumping into the body and taking control of the body and then wiping off the window and clearing and seeing more clear outside, so you also lessen that at least lessens the tension even in the eyes even. It's like jumping into an avatar, taking control of it, and then looking out the window, cleaning the window, and then okay, now we're gonna start driving. And the part of driving, I would say, would be the thinking with the somatic feelings taking hold of everything. That would be a way to describe that in this metaphor. And that part is kind of like something in which that's just a normal, regular way of now just get on your to-do list and start thinking. Just think about what you want to do. You're all good. You're in your normal innate self. Now just do regular thinking. Rather than because rather than what was the problem area, which is where I would try to start thinking, try to almost like a blank idea of what should I think about thinking. And then you're trying to inner clench in the thinking now. No. That won't work. It's just bringing back into the inner clenching thing. That's the whole point. It's trying to disconnect that inner clench. It's trying to stop that inner clench, that tenuption, that mind manipulated fucking shit you did with the neural feedback by accident, not knowing what you're doing. Okay, it's all about keeping that stopped. Okay. And so, okay. It's much more important. It's somatic feel on the exterior. And then yes, you can think okay, now the final result is that the somatic feelings are going to be flowing with all my thoughts. But I'm just saying but don't start trying to inner clench to try to think harder type of thing. No. Don't go back into that. So yeah. I would say the fastest way out. Grounded. I get a somatic feel of that thing, as if you're hugging. Somatic feel. Relaxed somatic feel of the girl. The method in which horniness happens. And then okay, so then it's okay, I'm basically out of it. I'm all good, I'm out of it, but I just have to, you could either say, as far as I either have to just never do the inner clench now, or I could just, or in other words, or I just have to continue to stay in the realm of having my somatic feelings on the exterior. Either way, they both mean the same thing, because if I don't do the inner clench, because there is no not doing inner clench, there's only switching it to that. Okay? So either way, if I'm not doing inner clench, that means it's because I have this somatic kind of feeling on the exterior. And if I'm not having a somatic feeling on the exterior, it's because it's in into the concentrated inner clench. So either way, you can just say, okay, so then I just keep my somatic feelings on the exterior, or I keep not inner clenching. But I think it's better to just, okay, I'm going to keep my somatic feelings on the exterior. And then once the thoughts, which are already there, but you just stop trying to inner clench into the thoughts, that's why it's just like, just move on, you're fine, you're good now. Keep the somatic feelings on the exterior, and the thoughts will just do whatever. Just start doing stuff and to-do list and think whatever. Just, start thinking. But not, what do you think when I think so compulsively to like, I gotta do inner clench into thinking. No. Just, it'll all get fixed on its own now. Just get yourself into a situation where you're forced to think about stuff now. Okay? Once you get a sense of the exterior, that's it. And then you're good. Here, I got an idea. So I go from inner clenching. Now I'm gonna emotions into the exterior. Okay, I got a gut feeling, and this has relaxed into that gut feeling. Okay, so now I just need all my somatic feelings, like kind of like the gut feeling that I have on this exterior here. I just need all of them reconnected with all of my thinking, where I'm flowing in with where it's all flowing, the feelings are flowing within my thinking. Okay, I know that's the final result. But spot 5 things in blue. 1, 2, or just kind of like notice 5 things in blue. There's one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Let's notice 5 things in red. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's notice 5 things in green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's get in the car and start driving. Let's go over to the blah, 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 blah. Just move on with your life. Just move on. The somatic feelings are connected, have a connection to it. As you move on and keep thinking, then all of those thought images will have all these somatic feelings connected to them and everything, and you'll just keep thinking, Not inner clenching, but instead thinking with the concentration on the exterior. If the concentration is not on the exterior feelings, the only way that can happen is by doing inner clenching in the way that I did it. So that's why it's so innate for everyone, because what are you talking about? I just thinking they don't understand it at all, because it's just so innate. But that is what they're all doing. They're all doing this, which is something that I had to figure out when I got inner clenched and totally stuck in it. It's like, what are you doing to not do this? That is what they're doing. Just no one knows it, because it's just so innate in the way we're just innately programmed and developed. But if you lose it, you have to figure out what that is in order to switch out of it, because you can't just stop doing it. The stopping it is the switching it to the sense, that kind of gut feeling sense of the exterior. That is what the stopping of it is. It stops automatically. It switches to that instead. Because I was sitting around for years trying to stop it from within the feeling, concentration of it itself, and no. Concentration of the feeling keeps it perpetually locked in you. We gotta switch the concentration. Switch the concentration, and so will the clench relax back into the somatic gut feelings, which will all also start connecting to your thoughts in addition, and that's how humans innately are, but no humans know it. But luckily you had a genius getting trapped in this hell. Luckily the super rarity in which you do neurofeedback in the way in which I did it, in which you can get entrapped into a hell, luckily it was a genius that did it, because that's the only way we were able to figure it out, and that's what we have done now. So let's move on. Talk to you later.